This is an Azimut Atlantis 45. It's out of the water, as you can see, and that means we can have a quick look underneath, and I can show you a few of the details of this boat. Now, the Atlantis range of Azimuts is their sports cruisers, so rather than the flybridge, it's got the very sleek profile, and it's a very smart looking boat. But let's have a quick look underneath, and I'll just show you a couple of things under here. The first thing to mention is this black paint. This is anti-fouling paint. The idea of that is it means that when the boat's in the water, it doesn't get weeded up underneath, which would cause a lot of drag and slow it down. This is the bow thruster down under here. That's to push the bow sideways when you're docking, very helpful. And this one has IPS drives. Now, IPS drives are these pods. They're by Volvo Penta at the back. The propellers are off at the minute, but propellers go onto here, so they're forward facing, and you can see there's two shafts. That's because there's two propellers and they counter rotate, and then this whole pod will swivel. There's another one on the other side, and that means that you can use those to swivel independently. You use a joystick control, which I'll show you when we're on board, and that helps you maneuver the boat and actually push the whole boat sideways, which is rather clever. So that is the outside, but we're going to go on board and we are going to do the full tour. And in fact, there are a couple of other Azimuts here as well, and we're filming those too. So let's start on this one and go and take a look. So this is what it looks like from up on the boardwalk, and here you can get a much better impression of the style of the boat. As I say, it's a very sleek boat compared to the flybridge style of things. It's designed for performance and great days out on the water, but actually there's plenty of space inside as well, so it makes a very nice cruiser. Now, this is a high-low bathing platform. You can see we've got it retracted down slightly here, so you can actually see how this works. It drops right down into the water, and that allows you to put a jet ski on here if you wanted to and bring that up. There is actually a tender garage as well. That's in here, and I'll show you that before we go on board. So there's a button that operates it just here. We give those two a press, that brings it live, and then the up button will bring the whole thing up. So basically, with the bathing platform lowered and this raised, it allows you to bring your tender right inside into its own garage. There we go, let's go and have a look at that. There we are, so you can see how that is shaped to accept a small rib, and that can go right up inside. Cool. Okay, let's bring that one back down. So that's that button there. Now, on top of that, as you can see, you've got a very nice sun pad. This is raised slightly, so you've got a nice backrest to lean back against. And then in here is the cockpit area. We've got the sides out of the canopy at the moment. You can take the top section off as well, or you can leave it on as a bit of a sun top if it's a really hot day, and that gives you a great amount of shade for this cockpit area. Now, Azimut are Italian boats, so you see a lot of Italian styling with this, things like the upholstery, which is particularly nice, and this lovely high gloss wood they've used on this table. This one folds, of course, so that if you're dining you can make that a lot larger. Then opposite is the wet bar, and on this one we have the grill and the sink, but it also has an ice maker underneath, and then next to that is a top loading fridge, like so. And then ahead of this area we have got the helm station, and also there's another lounging area just here where Jack the Sack's taking it easy. This is a very nice chill out area, and the reason they've done this becomes more evident when we go inside, because this makes fantastic headroom as you go into the mid cabin. I'll show you that obviously in a moment. Over on this side then, twin bucket seats, very nicely formed, and these have the lift bolsters, so if you want to sit or stand you can move those appropriately. And then the helm is here. It's an all glass cockpit, so all your engine instrumentation is displayed on these screens, and the navigation information as well. That is the joystick control. This is what I was talking about when I referred to those pods underneath, because you can push this to the side, for example, or you can turn it, and it will configure those pods sort of independently of each other and apply thrust as appropriate to actually make the boat do what you want it to do. And then that there is the bow thruster control, so that's that little propeller right at the front, and these take you into gear and throttle up once you're actually out away from the marina. I like all these switches they put in here. These look really good, and one of these, it is that one, powers open this whole roof section. I won't open it the whole way because it's all a bit damp at the minute, not being a very crisp autumnal day, but that gives you an idea of how that works. I'll bring that closed again. You've also got an opening window next to the helm, so that's really good because you can really open this whole area right up. So that is the cockpit. Let's go and take a look inside. Again, very stylish and very contemporary with the colour schemes that they've used in here. Looks really good. So big seating area around this table, so that's a sort of like a lounge or a dining area inside the boat, and that is opposite the galley. Now these little heaters here, these run off of the 240 volt system. It's plugged in at the minute, and the dealers just put these in to keep the boat warm and there's nobody on it, which is very sensible. Keeps it all crisp and dry. So you wouldn't normally have those when you're out using the boat, of course. In here then we've got storage. There are a sink underneath there. That one is another bit of storage from the top. And up behind here is the switch panels for the boat. So those are the main isolator switches for your engines and your domestics and so on. You can switch here from whether you're on to shore power or on the generator. And under this one is all your circuit breakers and fuses and so on. And then as we move on around, this then is just big storage areas, and of course you've got them down here as well. It's all electric cooking. We've got a Miele oven, and this one over here then is the fridge and the freezer. And then ahead of this is the master cabin. So that's a really good size, particularly for a 45-foot boat. It's excellent. And on this side then is really nice wardrobe. It's all storage up in behind here and all the way around, and then a bit more over here. And this has its own ensuite. So toilet, sink of course. There's a shower in here, and then storage tucked in up behind there. Hello Bella. And as we come back out, this brings it back into where we were a moment ago. One thing I like is these big windows that they put in, so even though you're sunk quite down inside the boat, you've still got a good view out when you're sat down. If we head back here, day heads is here, and again this can be used as a shower. This door comes across, there's an area here that you can come out into that's dry. And now you see the benefit of that raised section, that sort of lounging sunpad area, because as we come into here there is loads of headroom. Makes this a really nice cabin. A lot of these cabins at the back of these size boats tend to feel a bit sort of cramped, but on this, full standing headroom, and in fact 3 beds as well. There's one across here, and then there's 2 down here. The headroom drops a bit here, of course, because that's the floor of the cockpit up above us. Big windows in here again, but it just feels really nice. Very spacious area. That cabin works well. That's one of those heaters, as I say, it's just put on the boat because it's the winter, just to keep everything crisp and dry in here because it's brand new. Big wardrobe, and again storage tucked away in places like this. But that is an excellent cabin for a 45-foot sports cruiser. Really, really good. We're going to have a quick look around the outside. It does look nice, doesn't it? And then we'll take in the engines, of course. So, pop my shoes back on. This is a practical feature. They've scalloped out underneath here, so you've got a big space for a life raft. That's a very good idea, very easy to get at. If you go around onto this side, there's 2 controls here. One controls that garage door, the other one is the high-low control for the swimming platform. Then we'll go up here. That is the sliding roof. So you can see it's pretty big size. And if we go right forward then, what you have on here, you can see there's poppers all the way around, so you can have sunbathing cushions on there. Make that into a big lounging area on the front of the boat. And then right up to the very front, that's the hatch over that forward cabin. And this is quite nice, I've integrated all the anchor handling kit actually inside this locker. So if we lift that up, there's your winch and the winch control, and a manual handle as well clipped in place, and the actual anchor chain locker is down there. All very neat, very nice. What I do like is this metallic silver grey finish that they've put on here, rather than just keeping it plain white. That looks very stylish. Then up on top is things like your antenna and your nav lights and your horn and so on. Let's come all the way back. And the last thing to check out is engines. There's no crew cabin on this boat because it's very much an owner-operator size of boat. And the engines are in here. Let's drop on down. So the engines in here are a pair of Volvo Penta D6 IPS 650. These engines are 480 horsepower each. They're giving the boat top speed probably up in the mid-30s, I would think, low to mid-30s, and cruising there for at sort of 25 knots, or perhaps a little bit more. And range, typically this sort of boat, you're looking sort of 300 miles-ish at high speed. And as I say, twin engines, you can see the other one down there. We've got a few boxes and things in here at the minute, so it's not quite as easy to see. But that gives you an idea. Fuel filters are here, we can get them easily. And the fire extinguishing system as well. So that's the engine bay. And that is the Azimut 45. I think I should finish up at the helm. And say huge thanks to Azimut UK for organising that tour for me. And huge thanks to you guys as ever for watching. I'll catch you on another one very soon. Take care. Bye bye.